Because sometimes I feel like people want that numbing feeling that comes from medication because they just need a break.
Yeah.
You know, they've been dealing with this hard road for a really long time and they need a break. Hi everybody, it's Mesha. I'm here with my husband Jake. We're in video 2 of our mental health series. So if you haven't watched video 1, I'll link it here and you can go back and watch video 1 so that everything that we talked to you about in this video will make sense to you.
Actually, the first video we've ever done together, so we had a little bit of fun with that.
Yeah, it was fun.
And you shared some amazing comments with me today that I didn't realize had trickled in over the week, so that was awesome.
Yeah, we did have a lot of comments, a lot of things that were even shared privately, and we just wanted to thank you for your bravery, because it does take a little bit to, you know, go there.
Yeah, you can see that it's not easy being vulnerable, which is what we're trying to do, and it caused many of you to be similar. So thank you for sharing. It was very inspiring to me to read your comments and to know many of you personally, and to now know that you've struggled with similar things that I've struggled with, and that within our family that we've struggled with.
Yeah, it's awesome. We want to say to those of you who have found what works for you, we're happy for you. That's amazing. Like, we are so thrilled for you, right?
Absolutely.
Like, just so happy.
It's so important when you realize there are things that can make a difference.
Yeah. We did receive some comments of people who were saying, and just so you know, we're not downplaying medication. We're not upplaying, natural. I mean, we're so happy that we have found something that does work, that's natural, that doesn't have the side effects. But that doesn't mean that we're downplaying if you are taking a medication, because we just really support that. We really support anything that you have found that works, right? Within that, we did receive a couple of comments of people talking about how tired they were of the side effects, and so they stopped their medication. And those are the ones that kind of just, that I go, this information is so needed, because people are tired of those, the side effects and the things that medication.
Sure. So there's things that work that have side effects, but then there might still be a solution for them or for you that is better, that has no side effects, and that would be the right win-win for you.
Yeah, and maybe you have medication that's working for you that doesn't have side effects, and if that's the case, keep going. It's awesome. Keep rocking it. Keep going. Keep living your amazing life. That's very, very exciting. Anything else about the comments? It was just so touching to know that, like, we really are making a difference with what we're trying to do. It's awesome. Yeah.
I think it'd be good for you to read some of the comments.
Oh, okay. This is one of the comments that we received from a person who, here you go. I'll just read it to you. Hey, I'm really excited about your mental health post. I could relate to everything your husband was sharing. I've been struggling with anxiety for about 10 years. I would really like to find out more of what you are doing and who this Dr. Hodson is that has helped you. Thanks so much for opening up on a tough subject. And then I responded to her, and she gave me a little bit more information, and she said, I did the same thing where I spent years doing everything I could naturally, including avoiding gluten, because for me somehow it's related. I don't know why. Then I finally took medication for about a year, which had its benefits for sure, but after the side effects and gaining a bunch of unwanted weight, I ended it about a year ago. I've been pretty good, but when my stress levels go up, so does the anxiety, so still working on it. And I think that's a good point, because I think we're all working on it.
Which, as a side note, she touches on something there with nutrition that really is going to come up in one of the next videos.
Yeah, it's not going gluten-free, but it's, yeah.
Well, sure, like she says, somehow it's related, but I don't know why. Well, we think we have some good answers to that.
Yeah, we do.
So. Yeah.
So, let's just jump
into that. So stay tuned for video 3 already.
Let's jump into that just for a second, because we do have 2 levels of health that we're striving for here. We are striving for the level today, which we're sharing with you, are the supplements. The supplements are the things that helped Jake immediately. And then we have a whole nother.
It's another.
A whole nother level. We have a whole nother level for you. We have an entirely different level that includes nutrition, and that is more of a long-term.
It's a lifestyle. I mean,
it's a lifestyle.
It's even a lifestyle move.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but it's a long-term idea to help cure what's going on. So we don't have results from that yet, except how we feel right now. The idea is that you can get your body to a place where you can regulate yourself and you don't need the herbal supplements. We can't give you the testimony on that yet. We can just tell you we feel great with our food.
Yeah, and it's probably important to just even throw a disclaimer that while the natural supplements and things that I'm taking right now have been working extremely well, it's not without still some highs and lows, that I experience. And again, this is a mental health journey, and we're just in the first 4 months of this right now.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too, because I've talked to people that have been on medication, recently because of this video that I've seen this week. One person in particular was telling me how many highs and lows she still experiences being on medication. She does feel like medication is working for her.
Sure.
But I think it's just goes without saying that you're still going to experience the highs and lows, So we know you're all really, really excited about seeing the supplements that we've used and how they've really helped Jake.
Or curious.
Curious, yeah. We're going to get into that. We're going to show you the graph. But first, we have to just tell you that we are doing what works for us, and we feel like people need to know that. Within that, we are not prescribing these things to you at all. We are recommending that you seek professional help, okay? Professional help. And we will link to you Dr. Hodson's information below. That's who we used. Whatever you do, we recommend that you seek professional help in helping you get the dosage right, helping you figure out how to do all of this. We are not, by any means, putting ourselves out there as professionals who know what we're doing and we know what's right for you, because everybody's different.
Sure, because even in video 1, I alluded to how there was something that I was prescribed for anxiety, and we didn't bother filling that prescription because we told the medical professional we wanted to try this alternative natural route first, and to see if that would work, and they applauded that. They thought that was great, if I wanted to give that a try first. And we happen to have great success going that route, and we're still having success, and so it becomes a reason for now to not go down the path of any prescriptions that would help contribute to what I'm experiencing.
Right. So I think ultimately, we're just trying to stress you need guidance, okay? The reason why we're doing this is we're kind of unveiling and showing you, how when you get with a friend and a friend is like, well, I've been doing, but you still have to go do the route of going to a doctor, or you still have to do the route, you still have to do that. We're telling you like a friend what we're doing, but we're not telling you to do what we're doing because you're different than we are. So, and you might not have anxiety. You might be suffering with something entirely different, which still can be helped with these things, but maybe with some other things too. So,
because when we started this journey for me, we didn't know exactly what I had, or have had it.
Which
because from my own personal assessment and research I had done, I could see the overlapping symptoms that crossed into anxiety, depression, wondering about PTSD from a very traumatic experience that I went through that stretched actually over a several year period, which will be another video we'll do at some point in time.
If you guys want to know, let us know.
So we just didn't know exactly what I would be diagnosed with to therefore be prescribed something if that was going to be the case.
Yeah. So here we are, and to make it really clear that we are not prescribing something to you, we're going to read to you.
They might be getting that we're trying to just disclaim this over and over.
Do you understand what we're trying to do here? So my husband here has the most amazing disclaimer voice.
This information is sent to you for educational purposes only. These statements, information, and products have not been evaluated and/or approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. These nutritional supplement products do not prevent, treat, mitigate, reverse, or cure any health or medical disorder, condition, illness, or disease. If you have a health or medical disorder, condition, illness, or disease, consult your physician before following these recommendations or any recommendations and/or taking this or any nutritional supplement. Is that a good enough take one? I hadn't even read that yet in its entirety, so.
You got it?
Okay.
You got it? That's the disclaimer. You got it? That's what we're trying to say. Okay, so we talked to you guys a little bit about how this video is going to be about the supplements. The next video is about the nutrition. So the two different levels of what we're doing with Dr. Hodson. There are more videos than just those two coming up. There are tools that we're giving you that you can literally put in your pocket. Literally.
Pockets.
Yeah,
it's an experiment we're going to be doing with a particular product that I put in my pockets.
That's awesome. And then figuratively, things that we can give you that you can put in your pocket, that you can draw on, that will help you through this journey. So those things are all coming. So stay tuned on the mental health series train, and we'll bring to you those things. So without further ado, Jake McKittrick, show us your results.
So this is the sheet that we alluded to last week or last video when I was going to each counseling session, and I would answer these 40 questions before each session, and then it scores you a certain way. Anything with their metrics that's above a 63 means that it's justifiable to be in counseling, and then anything below that means that you're well on your way to having a successful therapy process.
Right. So we see that the 71 was what, the first time?
71 was the score the first time I went in. And then it actually increased to a 75, which was 2 weeks later. And then basically another 2 weeks later is when it had dropped all the way to a 55.
Right.
So it had dropped 20 points by their scoring system. And that put me below the need to be in
their technical need.
Yeah.
Like you need to be in counseling.
Now, at the bottom of this sheet, there's some feedback that was given that says, it appears you are experiencing low levels of distress as measured by your responses. If your level of progress is maintained, you will likely have a positive therapy outcome. Your responses to the questionnaire suggest that you feel more like those persons who are not overly burdened by their distress and who do not believe they have a need for treatment. We encourage you to continue working as hard as you have to obtain the most you can from therapy.
First of all, can I just give you a high five? First of all, that was not a good time.
This is interesting here. Your responses to the questionnaire suggest you feel more like those persons who are not overly burdened by their distress. So when I read that the first time, I just thought, even when you're doing well, it still is normal to be a little burdened by some stress. That's just a part of life. And so when I learned about different types of medications that can be involved with different types of mental challenges or illnesses, I learned how some of those can basically completely suppress all of your feeling. Like it can it can take away whatever stress you have, but now you're completely just numb to life.
That's a good point.
And then, some of my notes from one of my therapy sessions was kind of a breakthrough. It changed my perspective on how to view life, because it talked about there's distress and there's eustress. And eustress is actually something that's positive to experience because it still helps you know that you care. You could still be feeling a little bit of stress, but it's a type of stress that still, is motivating you to get certain things done, or to actually take certain actions.
Yeah,
and so it's important to get that distinction, because that alone made a huge difference for me to understand that it's okay to
feel a little bit.
Yeah, when stress and anxiety can be so great that it's okay to not have all of it taken away.
Yeah.
To still be experiencing some.
So something that you said really resonated with me, because sometimes I feel like people want that numbing feeling that comes from medication because they just need a break.
Yeah.
They've been dealing with this hard road for a really long time, and they need a break. Sometimes you just have to take care of yourself and do whatever you can long enough to get enough rest and reprieve so that you can take on more. So, for example, the way that it would apply in this situation is maybe you just start with the supplements and you don't get overwhelmed with the idea of nutrition. With Jake's results, it's important to point out the drop from 75 to 55? The drop from 75 to 55 was a 2-week period, and one of those weeks was strictly the supplements. And then the second week we had started the nutrition. So I think that's important to note, because I think it's great for you to report on the supplements separately and be able to say how they made you feel and how it changed things. And then that the nutrition kicked in as well, and that also contributed to, that decrease. But if you're needing just a little bit of rest and reprieve from some of those things, maybe the supplements help get you there first, and then you can start taking on the idea of all the nutrition stuff that we're going to talk to you about next week.
And again, this is basically a video about level 1 actions you can take in considering going a route of natural supplements or these herbs, things that we've tried.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start, Jake. Grab one of those treasures over there. Okay, so we're starting with Passionflower. Okay, and Passionflower is something. This is the reason why I want to start with this, because Passionflower is a safe herbal way to make you feel happy and to help you feel stable. But here is like a huge disclaimer. Okay, Passionflower can interact with some medications. So you need to be aware and at least have a conversation trying to figure out if Passionflower is going to interact with any medications that you are currently on before you take it. But for me, I don't take any medications except for vitamins and things that I think are good for my health. Like, we'll get into all that later. But I don't take anything. So Passionflower I take, right? And I don't have something that I'm majorly struggling with, but when I feel like this overwhelming amount of stress, or that just feels yucky, man, I just get a dropper full of this stuff, like this, and I just put it in a little bit of water.
4 ounces of water, maybe?
Yeah, about 4 ounces of water. Swish it around and drink it. So for me, I feel a boost taking Passionflower, and then what does it do?
For me, I was told by Dr. Hodson that, some of the other things I'm taking, until your body adjusts to it, you just might be getting a little bit tired in the afternoon. And so if I'm ever feeling that way, to take some Passionflower. So that was one of the scenarios on why to be taking Passionflowers, if I'm feeling a little bit tired and kind of needed a pick-me-up.
Okay.
And then other instances we've had is when, I've been dealing with something stressful. Like I dealt with I coach soccer, and last week I had to deal with this awful scenario with a parent-child situation, and it just really had me worked up, and so she had just said, why don't you take some Passionflower? And so I took it, and then within an hour I was just already feeling much better. And so
awesome.
So based on how I've been in the past, something that can stay with me for hours before it finally just kind of fades away or eases a little bit, it felt like it was just gone, and I was back to being fine.
Yeah.
So that was a good like little positive experience or testimonial I could give on Passionflower.
So we'll link that below. We'll do that. We'll give you a ton of information below in the comments. So just make sure that you look there, because we'll link a lot of different things, including Passionflower.
Deep rest.
Yeah.
This was amazing. This is the one that Dr. Hodson said that within 2 days, you should be noticing a huge difference
in your sleeping pattern.
Yeah, and so if you watch video 1, you learn that I had difficulty falling asleep and difficulty staying asleep, and I would even wake up. When I would wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes I would just start having these thoughts about things that would need to be happening the next day with business or whatever. And then it would just create these feelings of anxiety, and then my chest would start beating fast, and I had a lot of difficulty getting back to sleep. Now, that has worked extremely well for me. Deep Rest has.
Deep Rest is an herbal combination that helps you sleep. When Jake called Dr. Hodson and talked to her, she had a couple of questions for him. She said, do you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep? Because she would have given him something a little bit different for either thing. So Deep Rest was the key for Jake, and it works very well in trying to help him deal with those nights that aren't restful.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Serenity.
Serenity was the key, right?
This has been huge. Yep. Even on the front of it, it says traditional herbal stress management formula.
Yeah. So Serenity helps stabilize your brain chemistry. It helps you deal with stress. And another thing that it can help you do that Dr. Hodson has taught me and told me about is that it can help you get off your medication. So there's a tricky balance that you can do to have Serenity help you if you're kind of tired of being on medication, and it's not addictive. Serenity has literally been the key for you, right?
Yes.
It's been the key. But
it's great to sleep better, but this is really gets to the core of optimal mental health
and your brain chemistry, right? So, but yeah, if you're wanting to get off medication, it can assist you with that too. But you need a little bit of help in walking through that, because if you have any experience with that, you know that can be a treacherous road if you don't do it the right way. Okay, let's do Micro Daily next. Okay. So Micro Daily is a vitamin, and as a vitamin nerd, this is kind of saying a lot. I've been taking this vitamin for 4 years. It's amazing.
And I mean, we started at the same time, but you've been consistent on it, and I've gone through waves of not taking it. I mean, months at a time, where I just didn't take it. Didn't
feel like, or didn't really see that it was important, right?
Right. And back then, I mean, if I set aside mental health, I've always been a pretty healthy person. I hardly ever get sick. So it was more of the thought of like, oh, I'll save money by not taking the vitamin very often, because I'll take it when I start to get sick.
Mental game.
So you've been very steady, extremely steady for 4 years, and I've been very on and off over that 4 years. But then in the last 4 months, I've been taking it daily.
Yeah. So Micro Daily, there's a lot of things that Micro Daily does that's amazing, and I'm not going to get into all of that right now. What I'm going to tell you is why it's helpful for you when you're dealing with mental illness, okay? So there is a combination of herbs in Micro Daily that actually helps break through the blood-brain barrier. I say that 10 times, right? Blood-brain barrier. So your brain has this barrier that is there to be able to block harmful things, okay? But the combination of these vitamins allows it, and it's all been proven. You can all look up all the research and the medical studies that have been done on this. But it breaks through that barrier, and it allows. So first, I need to tell you really quick what a free radical is, because a free radical is a proton or a neutron inside your body anywhere that's functioning without an electron. You might need to rewind that to understand all of it.
Well, and there's significant. I mean, you can Google this. There would be a significant amount of research on the negatives of free radicals in your body.
Whenever you have free radicals, you have issues, inflammation, disease, something. Okay, and when you're experiencing mental illness, you have a lot of free radicals going on inside your brain. Okay, and because the vitamin can actually break through that blood-brain barrier, it is proven that it can deliver antioxidants to those free radicals, and therefore it literally delivers. It like opens a doorway and delivers this little electron to the existing free radical and makes it no longer a free radical. It becomes complete and whole, and so it's no longer a problem or a threat to you. So I hope that kind of like makes sense scientifically, but know that there's an excess of free radicals in your brain, and that Micro Daily can help in neutralizing that problem. That is the biggest reason why you would want to take Micro Daily along with all of these supplements.
And I would say that if there's another vitamin out there that claims to do the same thing, we would love to know about that.
Yeah.
Right?
But, yeah, sure.
Well, it's just that our research suggests that this is the most ideal vitamin to be taking for for life in general, and then especially if you're dealing with any type of a mental health challenge.
Yeah, I'm a vitamin nerd, so I've done a lot of research. Okay, Jake, grab what's next, the fish oils. So fish oils are really important, the omega-3s, but according to Dr. Hodson, when you talk to her, you'll start understanding that everything's pretty specific. There's something about it being DHA, and that's really important. And this, the brand of fish oils that she recommends is great because you don't have the taste of fish oil if you've ever experienced that. So that's been good for us. But fish oils are really important to help brain health. Okay, I kind of look at it like I explain it to Jake like it lubricates the what did I say, the joints in your brain, and you're like, your brain is now joints, and I'm like, I know I know, but just if I just think of it that way, it makes sense to me. It helps kind of like that lubrication of the neural pathways, whatever you want to call it. Listen, Dr. Hudson would not say that. She's gonna have a different,
she'd be laughing at us.
Yeah, she's laughing, but that's okay. That's okay. Just knowing that it's important for your brain function. So that right there, you guys.
And I think the topic of fish oils really seems like a health 101 type thing. Like we've all kind of heard about the importance of taking fish oils and that sort of thing. And so it's
but
just
maybe people don't understand that it's so important for your brain function.
Sure.
As well.
Well, and then even to there's so many brands, there's so many options for fish oils, and so then when you have someone having all their reasons why to take a very specific fish oil, that's what we're doing, and that's what we recommend that you look into.
Right, exactly. Okay, you guys, those are the 5 magical supplements that got us to where we're at right now, and your combination might look a little bit different than ours does, but I feel like we just kind of wanted to put that out there so that the guesswork is gone and it kind of starts making sense in your mind, because sometimes you have to hear it over and over of oh wait, Serenity, is that thing that Jake's taking? Oh yeah, you know what I mean? And it just kind of makes more sense in your brain as to you can see it more clearly, you can see it mapped out, because it is kind of a lot of things to understand, but there is a reason why the combination of those things together are helping us. Yeah.
Well, and again, we're coming from a place right now where these things have worked so well for me so far on this journey that we feel an obligation to share this with others.
Totally.
And this topic is, as we talked about in video 1, it's such a big topic. We need to do more research and find out if that statistic is so spot on that it's basically like a 1 in 4, have a mental health, or a mental illness issue. Because regardless of what that true statistic is, it means that this is such an important topic. And so we so appreciated the comments that were already shared to you.
Yeah.
We appreciate those that shared the video. It's just getting started.
Yeah.
With the sharing of this, and we'll keep creating these videos. And so we really just encourage you to please share this with family and friends, and please let us know anything that is working for you or any feedback that you have, because it helps us in what we're trying to put together with this video series, and to continue to bring you content that we think is optimal for you or a loved one's mental health journey.
Yeah, and if you have a question, then typically other people have the same question. So it would be great for us to kind of be aware of that, and we can either answer it in the comments or answer it in our next video. So leave all of your thoughts and whatever in the comments below. You can also private message us if it's not something that you want to put out there to the whole wide world to read. That's okay, we understand that. You can private message my friend Mesha on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And, we'll just respond and do our best with all of that stuff. Dr. Hodson's information is going to be linked below. Like I said, all of we'll have some other links below that will be very helpful to you in just trying to figure out where you're at with this whole journey. Well,
and I would add, if you have not, what is it, you like, you follow, you subscribe on whatever the different social media platforms are, you really need to like, follow, subscribe everything that she's got going on. I get the behind the scenes look on a regular basis of the energy and the effort that goes into her putting this together, the inspiration that she receives, and it's all for a reason, and it's to bless your lives and the lives of others that you know. So please share this with others.
Wow, thanks, babe. That was awesome. That's the best outro I've ever had. like, follow, comment, subscribe. Yeah. So you guys, do that. Do what Jake's saying, and I'll keep bringing you messages that help lift your living and help you to live happy and be inspired. Have a great day, and until next time, take care of yourself the best that you can, the best that you know how.